I was part of the executive steering committee for Capgemini's World Wealth Report, which they do on an annual basis. They've been doing this report now for 29 years. So it's one of those industry leading publications. And one of the things that we found, and people always talk about how women are different types of investors, and the truth of it is, it's more about security and confidence in your financial decisions. So 2/3 of men, on average, feel confident navigating markets and taking financial decisions, where more recently you've seen that drop with women. But the one thing that's great about this is it actually leads women to seek out advice. So when you look at the outcomes, they're actually improving over time, even though the confidence may not be there, which just means we ask more questions and we seek out advice, which then leads to better outcomes.
What an interesting finding, and maybe not all bad then.
Not all bad. Asking for advice is a good thing.
Well, speaking of wealth and individual clients, you've got access to how a lot of these people are thinking. There's been so much attention, hype, whatever you want to call it, around opening up private markets to individual investors. President Trump pushing to open up 401ks to private market investment. What are you seeing, hearing, advising in terms of your clients and their appetite to include private market investments in their portfolios?
This is a really important topic for a number of different reasons. So the first is, when you think of just accessing investment opportunities and some of the long-term secular growth themes, 90% of the world's companies are private. And so there are a lot more opportunities that exist in private markets than in public markets. And when you look at the strategic return estimates that are anticipated over time, a lot of those higher returns are driven by private markets. So we want to make sure that our investors have exposure to this, not just in terms of their current needs, but when you look at like longevity and the trends and that we're living longer. A recent stat that I read that said if you are alive in the year 2030, you are anticipated to cross the century mark, the 100-year mark. And so that also means our assets have to work harder for us. So alternatives, a very important part of portfolios, but presently many investors are severely underallocated.